Good morning again. I'm going to talk to you about delivering the clearer image. Our customers want it, and we will deliver it. If I were to summarize this morning's two presentations, it would be the customers demand a clear image. And the customers demand a clear image because their challenge to address their reserve replacement ratios are really about the future of their industry. And their ambition to raise their production levels is definitely about performance of their companies and about their industry. Our customers demand a clearer image, and we have the capability to deliver it. We have the capability to deliver a clear image because we have the competence, we have the profile as a dedicated geophysical company, and we have a fantastic starting point through the building blocks we put in place over the last few years. Delivering a clear image. We put behind us a year which has been decisive. It has been decisive with respect to choosing direction for the company, clarifying PGS from a composite FPSO geophysical services company to becoming a dedicated geophysical company. It's been a decisive year with respect to delivery. And it's been a decisive year with respect to promises for the future and what we can become as a geophysical company moving forward. Up where we belong, it's been a year of very substantial shareholder value creation. And this graph, in contrast to the one that Bill showed us this morning, also takes into account that the fact that we were able to deliver shareholder value to our investors, also through the separation of Petrojarl in 2006. And if you take that into account, $100 invested in PGS at the start of 2006 was around $250 at the end of that year. And that is shareholder value creation which outperforms Veritas, which outperforms CGG, outperforms TGS Snopic, and outperforms Schlumberger. And it has been driven, yes, by a successful separation in the second quarter of the year. It has been driven by the rejection, if I may use that word, of Veritas in the third quarter. A key decision because we did have the opportunity to pursue that acquisition opportunity, that acquisition trail, but we said no because we did not see sufficient value creation for our shareholders. A key decision leading us to the organic growth path, which we will explore later today and tomorrow in more depth. I think both the separation and the Veritas rejection, in fact, contributed massively to further increasing investor recognition for PGS. We have built confidence among investors over the last few years through simply doing what we said we will do and delivering results which have been strong and making choices which investors feel are the right choices for creating value over time. We have supported it by a very substantial debt reduction, around $650 million in 2006 alone, and we have supported it by delivering cash flow and cash flow strength, which has been unparalleled in the history of PGS. Indeed, an extremely strong year. We've also demonstrated that we can deliver excellent results both in marine and onshore. If anything, 2006 was the year where strong team performance, both on land and offshore, did give the profile that PGS wanted to give to the outside world. We succeeded operationally, and we succeeded business-wise. It was a year of strong HSE&Q performance, again confirming our commitment in this area, and I was pleased to hear Peter also underlying that in his introduction today. We saw higher fleet efficiency and a better utilization of our total fleet, showing that the more emphasis on contract management and project management is something which has started to give results, and I'm convinced will increasingly give results as we move along. We saw the lowest technical downtime in the history of PGS, and we saw the highest average acquisition speed, small changes, but very important changes to underline what kind of company we are and what kind of aspirations we have. And on the onshore side, we were able to combine very substantial growth with very substantial improvement in profitability. A much more difficult market these days than marine, and then it's doubly satisfying to see that we are also making progress in this part of our business. One exception, and I think Erik will revert to this later today, the Nigeria Transition Zone project. Also a breakthrough year for multi-client. In fact, multi-client is solidly back at the core of our business model and the way we run our business. It's not the end of that journey, but we've started a push and emphasis which I'm very convinced will give excellent results for PGS moving on. Clearly, the highlight of the year was our ability to go for the Gulf of Mexico, the Crystal Watts survey, and the processing part of that survey, and the close technical cooperation with BP. It underlines that Gulf of Mexico is important, but it also underlines that we are at the forefront of pushing new technologies, which only 4, 5, 6 years ago were not at the focus of the oil companies. We saw very strong late sales, and also we saw record pre-funding. Indeed, a breakthrough year for multi-client. On the internal side, the people survey in PGS, the first in our history, also indicated that we have something to build on in terms of culture. I was very pleased to see that on several aspects, we seem to be developing a work environment which is supporting performance, because performance is a lot about each one of us feeling that we can contribute, that there is an environment where we can contribute, and where there is sufficient feedback on our contribution and our impact on the company moving forward. A work environment supporting performance, and also a work environment with potential to go. There is no doubt that there are areas of our work environment and how we operate in PGS which still could and should improve substantially in the years to come. It's partly linked to development of us as managers, and we started a journey there together. And it's also related to our ability to recruit people, to develop people, to give them the feedback and support which is needed to push on and to deliver strong results also in the future. In total, 2006 has been a year which should make us proud. I think Bill said this morning that we should feel satisfied with ourselves. We should be content. And the results definitely underline that. It's been a year which we should celebrate in terms of results and achievements. It's been a year which we should embrace in terms of both operational and business performance. And above all, it has been a year which we should underline as a launching pad for our strategy moving forward for 2007, 2008, 2009. It's a fantastic launchpad for the clear image strategy and goals of PGS pushing forward in this market. I think already 1 year ago we started to identify and to emphasize the main areas which we wanted to address to become a stronger PGS and a more successful PGS. One of the themes most commented upon and most underlined by many of you was the issue of let's build on the people focus. Let's build on developing, retaining, recruiting people, because that's really at the core of our success. And we have not done a lot of that, deliberate effort in PGS, historically speaking. You focused customers and customer relations, and you underline the importance of getting closer to our customers, understanding them better, to be able to position our offering better. That's a journey which we have only started, and I think most of that journey for us is left to be done, and it's left to be made specific and concrete. It was striking to listen to Peter because, the value chain which he emphasizes is really telling us that one customer is not one customer. There are customers within the customer which we need to understand. Their needs for our services and products which differ through that value chain and which we need to pinpoint and be able to specify and to approach them in the best possible way to accelerate the introduction of new technology throughout that value chain of an oil company. Because we may think we have boundaries within our companies. I'm very convinced that the oil companies have that challenge to an even larger extent. You emphasized last year the need to achieve a faster rollout of new ideas and new technologies. On the one hand, the importance of new technologies and our ability to develop those, and at the same time, you underline the importance of getting it faster, being more commercially oriented. It's a key area to the future of PGS. You underline the importance of pushing for a somewhat changed risk-reward balance. Perhaps it's the wrong term, but the main elements in it were linked to project execution, getting a better risk distribution between the customers and ourselves, for example, and the way we approached executing projects for these customers, leveraging our data library to a larger extent. After all, we are sitting on the largest data library in the world, in the industry. How can we use that to our benefit to a larger extent? And you focused again multi-client and the need to push risk-taking within PGS from an extremely low level over the last few years to a higher risk level, and being prepared to make multi-client more of a core part of our business again. And finally, and that was perhaps the strongest message from last year, you said we must clarify our strategy. We do not have a clear strategy, was the feedback I heard from you last year. We have elements of it, but we need to clarify it. Well, I do think we have worked hard to clarify that strategy over the last year. We have had extensive discussions in the management team, extensive discussions with the board. We have formulated a strategy. We have shared it, communicated it, rolled it out, and currently all of you are in one way or the other engaged in making this strategy happen. Perhaps for some of you it's happening more slowly than you had hoped for. For others of you, you feel it is going very fast, and that we are burdened with more challenges than we are able to absorb for the time being. It's a strategy which builds on the importance of doing better what we already do well, like marine contracts and marine acquisition. And Peter's emphasis this morning of the relatively level playing field when it comes to acquisition and distinctiveness between companies, I think is a reminder of the importance of that. It's a strategy which, by focusing on multi-client, underlines the importance of taking more risk in PGS, because that will be rewarding for us over time. It's a strategy which underlines the importance of focusing parts of our growth, focusing regionally on the onshore side, focusing segment-wise on the data processing side to succeed and to make more rapid progress in terms of being recognized also from our customer side. And it's a strategy which also underlines the importance of getting some new impulses, some new technology through acquisitions, focusing on acquisitions really to build a stronger PGS and complementing what we already know and do well ourselves. In total, this is a strategy which, on the one hand, is building on our strengths in acquisition, in contract, on the library side, in onshore operations, and at the same time, a strategy which is critically dependent upon us pushing boundaries and pushing frontiers, doing things which we have not done extensively before, and doing those things in a flawless manner, in an excellent manner, because we need to push the boundaries. We need to push the boundaries in data processing, no doubt. We need to push the boundaries in commercializing new technology. We need to push the boundaries with respect to acquiring smaller teams and smaller companies. And we need to push the boundaries in building customer relations and building those customer relations to our advantage based on our technology, and linking up with customers in a way which does not mean that we naively think that they are leaving their cost-effectiveness focus when customers ask for more long-term cooperation, but recognize that fact and turn it to our advantage, because we have something to offer, and we can turn that to our advantage if we are good enough and focused enough in our effort. When we look towards 2007 and beyond, I feel that we are starting to turn this strategy into specific KPI goals and specific focus areas for delivery and for achievement moving on. And clearly, 2007, being the first year really of strategy implementation for us, means that we should use this year to make a major progress towards the more longer-term goals that we've set for ourselves. We should, on the marine contract side, not only be able to deliver excellent results with respect to EBIT margins, meeting or surpassing what the market is really expecting from us, and the market is really looking towards 50% plus EBIT margins on the marine contract side, no doubt about that, but also to be able to, through better project management, get more out of our fleet. And that sounds like, we are already doing it extremely well. I'm very convinced that optimizing fleet use, optimizing vessel use, there is still room for improvements for us, and we are having an organization which will support us achieving that in 2007 and beyond. And obviously, we have to succeed, and we will succeed, with respect to delivering the Ramform Sovereign project on time, on cost. We've had a good start, but don't let us underestimate the challenge of getting such a complex project moving along the timeline and really delivering in a world which is characterized by increasing delays for the competitors and very demanding yard conditions. On the marine multi-client side, clearly Crystal Watts stand out as the performance indicator for us in 2007, because it's linked to the stakes financially, but even more so, it's linked to the stakes technologically and in the eyes of customers, which we would like to get closer to in the years to come. We are raising multi-client activity very substantially, and clearly we need to find that balance where we do have the projects which are superior and strong, and we must be able to compete effectively with contract projects which are extremely attractive for us and which obviously the markets around us, and then I mean the financial markets, have a tendency to overemphasize in a strong market environment like we have today. I also hope to see that we are able really to push forward with respect to reprocessing of our library, and that we are able to celebrate even more victories based on the mega survey concept as we move along. The targets are there, the competence is there, let's do it. 2007 will be a year of consolidation for onshore in terms of growth, focusing on improving operations, raising the stakes in the multi-client area very substantially. If you look upon our multi-client investment in the onshore area in 2007, we are investing around 5 times what we invested only 2 years back. It's a massive step, obviously in recognition of the market dynamics, which we learned about this morning. A lot of smaller companies emphasizing North American exploration activity. But we are well positioned, and we should be able to succeed in that area. On the processing side, perhaps data processing has one of the biggest challenges in 2007, because they must be able to combine both growing the top line with recruiting a lot of new people, taking on the Crystal project as well, and at the same time see an improvement in the bottom line. That's quite a challenge. And I know a lot of good work in terms of preparations are moving into that. We should be able to move in the area of processing, and we should be able to move also with respect to the recognition among our customers. And obviously the Crystal project is critical. Innovation and technology. We need to succeed in the fiber optic area, and we are aiming to succeed in the fiber optic area with Chevron in 2007. We've had a good start. Fiber optics for us may be not only a new product, obviously, but also, if we are able to develop the right business model, an entry to a new business area, permanent monitoring, which I'm very convinced will be a key business area for the years to come, and where I would like to see PGS really, really being at the front. The noise-free streamer, supporting work as we go along, a key target, but also the new generation streamer. And I think this underlines the importance of getting more distinct also in the area where we are the best, namely in acquisition technology. And a new generation streamer should help us doing that when we succeed technologically, and when we succeed in introducing, in marketing that concept and that approach to the market in a good way. And finally, more broadly, we still have high ambitions to improve our HSE&Q performance. PGS must and will become an even safer company moving ahead. And I'm very convinced that the emphasis on high potential tracking is the right approach. It was quite a striking graph that Peter used this morning in terms of also underlying the shift in emphasis in the whole oil industry, from observing the personal LTIs to observing the process-related and the operationally related LTIs, very important learnings, and guiding us in the development of our HSE&Q strategy. We should succeed with a couple of acquisitions, not necessarily large, but simply to underline our ability to recruit competence from the outside, supplement it with our own. And obviously, we have a very demanding program development job ahead of us on the customer focus side, as well as the whole people area, recruitment, training, and people survey. Now, during this conference, we will focus on several of these areas. We will focus on performance. We will focus on multi-client. We will focus on customer and the customer focus program, how to approach it. And we will focus on technology edge. We will also focus on one aspect of the people agenda, namely training and the Duke program, which is ahead for all of us in this room, I think, by and large. And clearly, the Duke focus and the training underlines where I believe our strategy starts and our strategy execution ends, and that is with people. It is a question of developing, retaining, and recruiting talent. It is a question of mobilizing each one of us in this room to stretch a bit further, to focus a bit better, to work a bit better with your colleagues, and thereby creating even better results in 2007 and beyond than what we have seen in 2006. A clear image, it's about people. I think that summarizes the strategy introduction that I would like to share with you today. And then instead of speaking for another 20 minutes, I will get some help from Ian to, focus on the real challenges. So Ian and I will have a chat, and hopefully you'll also get into that debate over the coming 30 minutes or so. But thank you for your attention so far. Thank you.